the skin like paper, wounds crawling with flies, the world rushing past as if he were already gone. She knelt. She didn't make a speech. She didn't ask for permission. She placed her hands under his shoulders and lifted as gently as you would lift a child. He whispered one water met wounded skin. He whispered one word, something like home. She smiled. Not all of us can do great things, she said, but we can do small things with great love. Tona, tonight, I want to offer you something small, something hidden, something that looks like nothing to others, but changes everything inside you. Choose the last place. That's it. The last seat. The last piece. The last word. Left unsaid. Not because you are less, becomes more when you step back so someone else can be seen. This was Mother Teresa's way. When a room filled, she slipped to the back. When a line formed, she waited. When honor was offered, she passed it on. TC is to say, I'm a little pencil in God's hands. A pencil doesn't sign its own name, it just makes a line of love. Where did she learn this? From the Gospel's quiet wisdom. When you are invited, take the lowest place. It's the opposite of the world's noise. The world says, be first, be loud, be seen. But Mother Teresa's life whispers, be small, be still, be faithful, and watch how joy, real joy, comes back like sunrise through a window. Let me tell you a simple story. Who once visited the home for the dying in Calcutta. The smell was heavy. The groans were real. He watched a sister clean a man's wounds with slow, patient hands. He asked, I couldn't do what you do for $1 million. Mother Teresa answered, neither could I. But I can do it. For love do you it did doa, not grandness, not drama, a hidden choice, to take the task no one wants, to kneel where the need is greatest. What happens when you do? Say something soft, say your heart makes room. Pride loosens its grip, the need to win quiets down. You begin to see faces again. You notice names. The world becomes human, not a race. Maybe you're thinking, I'm not in Calcutta. I'm not running a shelter. That's not the point. The last place is everywhere. It's at your dinner table when you take the smaller portion. It's in traffic when you let someone merge ahead. It's at work when you let another voice speak first and really listen. It is at home when you pick up the mess no one wants to claim, not as a martyr, not with a sigh, but as an offering. If you make it a secret, it's even sweeter. Mother Teresa loved secrets like that. She believed that love grows in silence. In the chapel, she would kneel and whisper just one request. Jesus, use me. The world outside could be chaos, but inside the prayer was simple. No spotlight, no stage, just use me. and then she would step back into the noise and look for the last place, because that is where love tends to hide. There's another story. A little boy brought her a bag of sugar. He had saved it by going without. He said, "This is for the children who have no sugar." She asked, "Are you hungry?" He smiled, "I am, but I can wait." In that tiny delay, in that chosen hunger, there was a feast of joy, and found himself filled. That's the strange arithmetic of love. You give away, and somehow you grow. You is steppy back. Enjoy steps in. Mother Teresa once said, "If you judge people, you have no time to love them." Taking the last place is a way of choosing love over judgment. It's a way of saying, "I'm not here to measure you. I'm here to serve you." And suddenly, the person in front of you is no longer an obstacle. He, a treasure, too, even if they are difficult, rude, slow. Different. Love doesn't ask whether they are worthy. Love simply loves. The last place. Won't I be walked over? To Mother Teresa knew about that fear. People tried to use her. People criticized her. Her answer was peace. People are often unreasonable, illogical, and self-centered. Forgive them anyway. It wasn't a strategy. It was a freedom. She gave up the right to be first and kept the right to be joyful. She surrendered the craving to be seen and found the gift of seeing others clearly. Do you feel the invitation? It's small. It's tender. Try it just once today. The last seat at the table, the last slice on the tray, the last word left unsaid when the argument is already won. Let someone else reach the finish line first. Choose the last place and listen to your heart. Does it feel lighter? When Mother Teresa walked into a hospital, she didn't make a stitch. She found a person in pain and touched them. She didn't fight for the front row. She sat where she could see and serve. Her authority did not come from titles. It came from the quiet strength of a servant. In a loud world, that kind of strength is louder. It's a different music, more human, more holy. She often said, "The greatest disease is not leprosy or tuberculosis, but the feeling of being unwanted." You become the first to notice the unwanted. You see the colleague who eats alone. You recognize the neighbor who always closes their blinds. You hear the tremble in a voice that says, "I'm fine." You become the kind of person who asks, "How are you?" and waits for the real answer. That's not performance. That's love with sleeves rolled up. There was a journalist once, hard, skeptical, ready to expose hypocrisy. He followed Mother Teresa through the alleys, into the homes, across the wards. He expected speeches. He got silence. He expected grand plans. He saw small kindnesses. He expected certainty. He found prayer. Ta came to measure a saint. I left measured by love. That's what choosing the last place does. It doesn't make you small. It makes love large enough to hold you. If you want a prayer for this, keep it shut. Toga, give me the grace to choose the last place today. That's it. And when the moment comes and at will the temptation will whisper, not now, not here, not with them, smile back, say, today here, with them, and let the grace do its work. Mother Teresa believed that peace begins with a smile. Have you noticed how a real smile is a kind of last place to wilt? It welcomes, it opens the door, and waits for another to walk through. Smile at the person who cut you off. Smile at the child who is making noise. Thus seja safe with me. For a moment, the world softens. What about failures? You'll choose the last place and feel unseen. You'll do the hidden task and no one will say thank you. You'll forgive and they won't change. What then? Do it anyway? That little poem hanging on the wall of her home said it all. The good you do today may be forgotten tomorrow. Do good anyway, to give the world the best you have, and it may never be enough. Give your best anyway. Why? Because it was never about being seen. Let's get practical. The Z, and the last to speak and the first to listen. T, in your next conflict, be the last to accuse and the first to apologize, even if your part is small. In your next to shove and the first to yield. Toke be the last to choose entertainment and the first to choose someone who needs company. Thus, these are not heroic gestures. They are seeds. Plant them and wait. Joy has a way of finding the soil you've prepared. There's a story of a man in the home for the dying who resisted every touch, angry, afraid. Mother Teresa sat beside him. She didn't preach, she held his hand. She rested. He looked at her, and for the first time his eyes were at peace. What changed him? Not a miracle, not a medicine. A last place chosen and kept, a hand that refused to let go. Maybe your last place today is in your own home. You wash the dish left in the sink without mentioning it. You lower your voice when you feel a shout rising, though slowly, even though you're running late. You write a small note and leave it where someone will find it. You order less so a friend can order more. You let someone else be right, even when you know you could build a case. It's not defeat. It is an offering. Though Mother Teresa often returned to the chapel, Stipor says just, she went to return to them with fresh love. Pull a quiet corner, a breath before emails, a whispered prayer before a meeting. God, use me, even if it's the last place, especially if it's the last place. Then go back to the world like a candle in your pocket, unseen but warm, ready. Here's something to try for a week. Every day choose one last place on purpose. Tomorrow take the smaller portion. Tick. The next day listen twice as long as you speak. Get to notice what happens inside you. And at the end of 7 days, ask, has joy returned? Now, A gentle pause. What is one concrete hidden way you'll choose the last place this week? Share your idea in the comments. I'd love to hear your practice, and if this helped you breathe a little easier, stay with this community. Tap subscribe and let's keep walking this path of small, quiet love together. You might still ask, but if I always choose the last place, will anyone care for me? Love is not a transaction, but it is contagious. Give, and someone else will learn to give. Make room, and someone else will make room for you. Mother Teresa's sisters cared for one another precisely because they shared the last place. They carried one another's burdens, the sorebacks, the late nights, the fears. When your life becomes a gift, you draw other givers near. She used to say, if you want to change the world, go home and love your family. Do you hear the rhythm? It doesn't begin with speechin' at your door. In your silence, we don't need to wait for a grand chance. We need to notice the next opportunity to be small, and then take it. There was a widow who slipped into the home with a bundle of bread. She didn't plan to stay. She saw a woman shivering, sat down and wrapped her in her shawl. Hours passed. No one will ever write her name, but heaven knows it. That's the kind of greatness Mother Teresa honored, the greatness of the last place. When you choose it, don't look back. Don't calculate the cost. Though we cannot do great things, she said, but we can do small things with great love. If the love is great, the thing is never small. It changes the air around you. It softens hearts you cannot see. It breaks chains you did not know were there. So here's your gentle blessing. May your feet find the back of the line without bitterness. May your hands find the work no one's without complaint. May your voice be soft, your eyes kind, your smile ready. May your heart be spacious enough to hold the unwanted and the unforgettable. May you be a pencil in God's hands, writing mercy on the margins of today. Choose the last place today. Watch what returns, quiet, steady, and more than enough. Joy has been looking for you. Did this simply as a smile. And remember, even the smallest act, done with great love, is how the world is changed, one hidden moment at a time.